家人们，我遭受了职场歧视，对于我们
I experienced workplace discrimination. The discrimination against unmarried and childless women like us really leaves me speechless. A few days ago, I interviewed at this company and I was quite satisfied. I passed the first and second rounds. During the second interview, the supervisor, who is basically their general manager, told me he was very pleased with me. At the end, he said they would hire me and asked HR to send me an offer. We had a great chat, and I got along well with HR. But today, HR messaged me saying they were sorry, but I wasn't suitable. I was really confused because I had a good conversation with the boss, and he said I was hired. So why say I'm not suitable now? Why not suitable? I bought a cup of coffee for HR and asked why I wasn't suitable. I wanted to improve myself. Then he quietly told me it was because I'm at an age where I am still unmarried and childless. They worry that if I join the company, I might get married and have kids, which would hinder my ability to work well. I just can't find the words. I'm genuinely angry. Does having children make us undesirable in the workplace? The country encourages us to have children, right? Yet the workplace doesn't want people like us. How are we supposed to support ourselves?
真的很好奇，像我们这种人文社科的专业，是不是只有女生没有找到工作了？我今天去参加了。
I'm really curious now. In our humanities and social sciences fields, are only girls not finding jobs? Today, I went to an interview at an insurance company, and it felt pretty competitive. There were a total of 60 people interviewing today, and we were divided into groups of 15 for a discussion. In my group of 15, there were 14 girls and only one boy. The boy accidentally mixed into our group. He is in a computer-related major. So, for us in humanities and social sciences, especially in law, it's all girls competing for just one or two positions. During the interview, there was a classmate who had some internship experience in an investment bank. The interviewer asked him why he wasn't pursuing a job in brokerage now. It turns out that during his internship, his mentor clearly stated that this position would not be hiring girls. So, employment discrimination against women is very obvious.
讲一个扎心的事实，我们女生，无论你是未婚未育，还是已婚未育，还是已婚已育，永远都是减分项。你20刚出头的时候。
Here's a hard truth. For us women, whether you're single and childless, married and childless, or married with children, it's always a disadvantage. When you're in your early 20s, they say you lack experience and use psychological manipulation on you. Once you finally gain some experience, they start worrying about you wanting to get married and have kids. A few years later, after you're married and have your first child, they worry about you wanting a second or third child. Women are generally at a disadvantage in the job market. As a woman who has worked in a first-tier city and in the fast-paced internet industry for 3 years, I'd like to share some employment advice based on my personal experience and observations. First, try to work in fields that serve women. In these industries, you have an advantage over men. You'll find it easier to be hired. Any industry related to women's needs, like clothing, food, housing, and travel counts. For example, I work in the women's consumer goods sector, and our company has many female employees. Around 80% are women of different ages in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. Second, during your work hours, be proactive in building your network and resources. This will ensure that when you can't find a full-time job, you can still take on some freelance work to support yourself. Industries like media, advertising, marketing, and design allow for earning money, even if you're not directly employed by a company. Third, develop your skills. Having multiple skills is a strength. You need to be adaptable in the job market, and maintaining your ability to learn is crucial to avoid being eliminated. The job market today is not the same as it will be in 10 years. Fourth, save money. Especially for women, after getting married and having children, returning to work can be quite challenging. If you have a flexible entrepreneurial project that can generate income, that's fantastic. For me, I have my main job and this account is my side business. Some might think I'm earning a lot from my main job, and it's stressful to juggle everything. However, I'm aware of the risks because the elimination rate in the internet industry is really high.
我终于感受到社会对女性的歧视了。
I finally felt the discrimination against women in society. I'm 28 years old, married but not pregnant. I've interviewed at several companies. The interviewers were very satisfied with me at first. But once the topic of marriage and having children came up, their expressions changed immediately. After that, I didn't get any offers. The government still wants to promote having 2 or 3 children. Right now, all I want is to get a divorce, okay? I suggest that if the government really wants to increase the birth rate, the only way is to give money to companies to encourage them to hire women like us who are of marriage and childbearing age. Otherwise, it's really hard for us to find jobs. How can we have children and raise them? It's really frustrating.
In China, the concept of valuing boys over girls has existed for a long time. Although the social status of Chinese women has improved, there is still a lot of discrimination against women in the workplace. A recent recruitment report shows that in 2023, the average salary for women was 8,689 yuan per month, compared to 9,942 yuan per month for men, which is a gap of about 12%. In 2018, the gap was 22%. Overall, the pay gap between men and women is gradually narrowing. In 2022, working mothers had an average salary of 9,315 yuan per month, which was a 9.2% increase from 2021. However, this is still 25.7% lower than the salary level of working fathers, which was 12,534 yuan per month. This suggests that after becoming parents, the income gap between men and women may widen again. However, this gap is smaller than the 31.6% difference in 2021, indicating that the income gap between working parents is also shrinking. The pay gap between men and women partly comes from the differences in job levels and job types in the workplace. Although highly educated women are gaining recognition in the workforce, they still generally play a passive role in leadership activities. This means that even if men and women achieve equal pay for equal work, the general lack of women in leadership roles still limits their voice and overall salary levels in the workplace. In 2022, 55.9% of working women had a bachelor's degree or higher, which is much higher than the 33.6% for men. However, the percentage of women in management positions at the grassroots level and above was 34.2%, lower than the 40.7% for men. Women mainly work in finance, administration, human resources, and sales, while men have a clear advantage in currently high-paying technology and product positions. This aligns with the survey data from the World Economic Forum's 2022 Global Gender Gap Report. Despite having a high labor participation rate, women make up only 13.8% of board members, and only 17.5% of companies have female executives, which is far lower than in most developed countries. Overall, China ranks 102nd among the 143 economies included in the Gender Equality Index of that report, placing it in the lower middle level. Similarly, other East Asian countries influenced by Confucian culture rank low, with South Korea at 99th and Japan at 116th, the last among major developed countries. In a survey by Xiaopin, over 90% of women reported experiencing workplace injustice, nearly twice the rate of men. Most women attribute workplace gender inequality to childbearing, while men attribute it to social systems. 57% of women believe childbearing is a burden that women cannot escape. Although both men and women, around 44%, cite limited promotion opportunities offered by the company as the biggest barrier to promotion. For women, the second factor is gender discrimination, which accounts for 25.5%, significantly higher than men's 11.2%. The percentage of women who are passively losing promotion opportunities during the childbearing stage is also as high as 23.2%, much higher than men's 10.7%. It can be seen that gender and childbearing are still two major obstacles affecting women's career development. At the same time, even though policies and laws clearly prohibit asking about women's marital and childbirth status during recruitment, 61.1% of women are still asked these questions when job hunting. This is about the same as last year's 61.2%, and it is much higher than the 21.5% of men. Why is it always about how women balance work and family? This is a question raised by many working women. Balancing work and family should not be solely women's responsibility. Many experts point out that protecting women's rights and promoting gender equality in the workplace not only protects and frees women, but also helps liberate men from social stereotypes. This better ensures their rights to participate in childcare and enjoy the role of a father. It shows that China still has a long way to go in protecting women's rights.